We play for keeps, Cuddy. You ain't heard about the Huddle fire with no with D-Lane. We tryna get it off the muscle. Walters caught the pick and ran it back without a tussle. Blow the whistle, coach is trying to get back to the huddle.
Welcome to the 510 Huddle. We back again. Another week under our belt. How you doing today, D-Lane?
Doing great, man. Another great week of football. Monday night football, not so much.
Yeah, we are a Raider fan. You sick? Probably tore up the whole house. If you're a Niner fan, you feeling good. Maybe got your groove back. So let's dive into it real quick. Let's kick it off. We've been really hard on the Niners all year. This is the biggest win of the season. First win against a team with a winning record. And they did it on prime time, and we blew them out. So let me ask you this, D-Lane. Are the 49ers getting their groove back, or are we in a wait and see?
I think it's more of a wait and see. Adding new pieces. Robert Woods goes down Friday. Odell adding a new piece with Odell, adding a new piece with Von Miller on defense as well. And then the offense just didn't seem like they were playing real crisp and like a cohesive unit. Drop passes left and right, bad penalties. I think they just caught the Rams on a bad night, to be honest, because I still believe the Rams are the better team. So I believe we're in a wait and see mode with the Niners. I don't believe what we seen last night was legit. But you know what I will say is legit? That boy Debo legit. Debo legit, man. Debo is a legit wide receiver. He a dog. And you know what? I think I said it before. Is that comparison wise, he remind me of like the new age, faster version of Anquan Bolden. Because he a dog. He going to come across that middle. I don't care what you say. Debo is a dog. And then his yak, like last night, he took a shot and bounced right off, bro, and kept running for the first down. Debo a dog, man. I like Debo.
I want to stay on this topic, but I want to talk about this probably on the next show or something. As far as receivers, I think we might start seeing more of those 5'10" to 6 foot big body guys that might have played running back before, but switched to receiver. Because you seen him with Debo.
Yeah, they put him in the backfield. Yeah.
Not tackling him once he get in the secondary. He's like a running back. So, but yeah, shout out to Debo. But to go back on the Niners, I'm with you, D-Lane. The Niners have always had the Rams number. I think personally, Kyle and Sean McVay, they came into the league at the same time as far as head coaches back in 2017. And Sean has been winning. So I think Kyle takes it really personal when he plays the Rams. He's always had the Rams number. We thought it was because
that last night was like 4 in a row, right? Or 5 in a row, right? Yeah. You're right about that.
And we all thought it was because of Jared Goff, right? And that's not the case, right? The defense was on their heels all game against the Niners. And I think it was just a game that Kyle Shanahan owned Sean McVay. For some reason, if Kyle Shanahan got to play Sean McVay 17 games out the year, he would go undefeated. I'll be honest. I think for the Niners, as a team, you're confident. We always beat the Rams. It's a divisional game. It's prime time, so it's easy to get up for that game. So I'm not taking away credit from the win. You had to win that game to save your season. They did that, and they did it. They blew them out. It was never close from the beginning.
Yeah, so, it was the Rams' third down defense was atrocious. I don't know what Raheem Morris and the crew cooked up over there on the defensive end. From a little bit of what I was watching, it looked like they was running a lot of man's concepts, and they was just eating it up. Crossing routes, Debo coming across the middle, Kyle, 44 was his name, Jewel Chicks, or whatever his name is, the fullback tight end guy. They was just exposing them left and right, man.
And I agree with you. I'll say, and the thing that was really concerning, I guess, most of the season with their record, if you look at their roster, they have a top 10 roster in the league. Like that, they have blue chippers on every level on the defense. We just talking about they got Debo, they got Kittle, they got Trent Williams, they got it's like how much more do you need, Kyle? So to me, you're seeing the talent. Like it's hard to lose games with that much talent. I expect them to beat the Jaguars next week, probably 20-3. Probably just run the ball down their throat. But we'll see a big test against the Vikings coming up.
Zay, you know what I will say? I do have I pointed out my issue with the defense and Raheem Morris because I think they have their fair share of blame from last night. But I also got an issue with Sean McVay, man, because we understand Robert Woods goes down. Cooper Kupp, your main guy. Last night he had 13 targets for 11 receptions. I get it. Odell's fresh to the team, or only been there for 3-4 days. 3 targets, 2 catches for 18 yards. Barely played. He only played like 15, 16 snaps of the game. But when I was watching the game, it was a few times where Cooper Kupp had like a quick little bubble screen or a quick smoke screen. Just something simple to give him the ball real quick, get the ball in his hands. I'm like, McVay. So I just seen Carolina pick up Cam Newton and implement him in the game plan. He scores 2 touchdowns and have an impact on the game. But there's no way you can implement Odell into the game plan a little more, and get the ball in his hands. Like I had an issue. Why? I'm not gonna say it was an issue, but like I just felt like, damn, I feel like he could have did more. Is what I'm saying. To get him involved in the game.
I'll be with you, but he was there for 3 days. And so
Cam was there for 2-3 days, and he scored 2 touchdowns.
Hold on. I'm just speaking from the offensive. Cam ran 5 plays. They had 5 packages for him. Odell, you have to remember this. Odell had to get cleared even to play. He was dealing with the injury, so he didn't show up day one. All right, Stafford running all the routes. I think they talked about in the broadcast booth that they practiced like 15, 16 plays that Odell knew, and then any other play he was just going to be the single receiver, and they're just going to tell him the route like trips right, Odell, you got a 6 route on this, So that's what they're doing. Now, if we're going the next 2 weeks and there's not easy ways to throw Odell the ball, then I'm with you, D-Lane. But I got to give him more than 3 days of practice before I start getting on how he's doing.
And I guess I'm not trying to get on him, but I just felt like the game was still there. I guess I was feeling this way midway third quarter. It was 24-7. They were getting stops. They were getting certain stops on defense, or key stops on defense on third down here and there for the Rams in the second half, where I was like, okay, they can keep the team in the game. They can keep their team in the game, and the offense just would not capitalize. Kupp had a big drop on third down. Higbee had a big drop on third down. All in the second half that killed drives they would have stayed in the game.
I mean, Higbee dropped the pass and ended up in a pick 6.
Yeah.
So no, let me just go. Let's just get into it then. I'll lead off with this. Is Odell going to be a fit with the Rams? And I'll be honest. Odell turns 30 next year. Okay. We didn't stop talking like he's a top 5 guy, because top 5 guys is not hard to implement you, right? You with the Giants, you're balling. Your team was not good. You're the number 1 receiver, right? You're getting 160 targets a year. 160 targets a year. Okay. You go to Browns. For some reason, you're not fitting in. Bam. We get to the Rams. The minute you show up, offense looking weird. I just want to know at the end of the day, is Odell the problem? That's what I'm looking for. I'm not going to blame teams like, bro, you're in a third team. Hopkins changed teams, nothing changes. Julio changes teams, ball as soon as he gets there. Like, now he's hurt, but all these other receivers, Allen Robinson, doesn't matter who his quarterback is, he's making it work. So why is it so hard for Odell to fit into an offense? Is he only 160 target type of guy, or does he not know how to work in his offense? Mike Evans, doesn't matter who's on his team with him, he's going to be the same. So I'm just looking at all these top guys around the league where it's not an issue who their quarterback is, what team they're on, that's a top guy. Odell, I don't know what it is. I know he's hurt a lot, so it's hard to get a flow, but something's not there anymore. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to keep blaming the teams. I want to see this season's big for me, or I'm completely off the Odell ship. It's just like, hey, you're just a guy. Your brand's bigger than your playability now. Yeah. What you think? You think he's gonna be a good fit?
So I believe at the end. So I'm gonna base it on my belief in McVay. Even though I know I just got on him a little bit right there in the last segment. I believe McVay moving forward can make it work, especially with Robert Woods going down. I believe his impact will be a little higher now on the game for the team and the offense. So I believe he'll be a solid fit, a guy working more, doing more of his damage outside the numbers. You got Kupp inside, and you still can run the football with Henderson, and you got Higbee. I believe it can work. I believe it can work just because I'm going to have my faith in McVay, but I will say it's a for sure wide receiver too. And you can't even say he's a high-end wide receiver too. You know how you got some guys where you like, oh, they high-end wide receiver too. They might be a wide receiver 1 type, like Hollywood type deal, that type of situation. I think Odell's past that, man, because I think you just said something, Zay, when you was like, why are we talking about him like he's a top 5, top 10 talent at the position? You're right. Like, it's too much young bloods, man. It's too much young fresh juice now. Odell, you not playing the same. You had too many injuries the last 3 seasons, surgeries all over your body the last 3 seasons. It's just, yeah, man. I don't believe it's the same Odell, but I believe he's a wide receiver too, like a solid wide receiver too, but not like a high end guy where you're like, oh, do he still got some wide receiver one left in him? No, he's a solid wide receiver too, and I believe he's in the right situation for that because you got Cup to take all the attention.
I agree, and I think you hit it right on the nail. He's a high end wide receiver number 2. I think that's the best way to look at it, which isn't wrong. You see in the NFL today, you need 2 receivers, right? It's not just I got an alpha receiver and other people to complement them, right? Every team that's legit offense, they got 2 guys, right? If it's not an elite 2 receivers, and it's an elite wide receiver and an elite tight end, like the Niners, right? They got Kittle, Debo, Chiefs, Hill, Kelsey, right? So now I'm with you. I think, but I like how you point out Sean McVay. He's an elite coach. All he does is win. He gets the most out of players. I think Odell will get more comfortable. I think we'll see. I think Odell's going to be that 80 catch, 900 to 1100 yard receiver, which is good, right? If he can buy into that and not just realize, hey, it's not OBJ one hand catch on the Giants 2015, he'll be good. So let's hop into. Actually, let's stay on this game real quick. Talk about Stafford a little bit. The last 2 games, he's been god awful. If you just saw some of the picks he's threw, one of the picks last night wasn't his fault. He's been god awful. And we mentioned last week on the pod about how the pressure's on for Stafford. There's no excuses. You got everything you need. You got a coach, defense, offense, weapons. It's all on you. Is Stafford? You think Stafford's gonna be able to handle this pressure the rest of the year?
Man, I don't believe so, and it's tough.
Oh.
Like I'm gonna go with 50-50, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because of a game like last night, and the 3 losses for the most part, besides last night because he actually got off, but the other 2 losses, they've been able to neutralize Cup some way somehow in those losses. But last night he got off for the most part. But Stafford, it's like when the big moments come up, sometimes it seems like he shrinks. But a game like last night, where it makes me want to sit back a little bit and be like, I'm a little more 50-50 on can he get it done or not, because like I said, key penalties, big drops on third downs that should have kept drives alive, drives going, drops that turns into picks. So I'm not sure. It looks weird when they play bad. But it's not just them. It's been a theme across the board, across the NFL so far this year, where the top dog week to week, they can get knocked off any given week the following week. And we just been seeing that. It's been like a domino effect. But I want to read you something here, Zay, because like I said, it's still 50-50. I'm not sure, and I want to say no, he can't get it done, or he can't handle this pressure, because let's look at the 3 losses, his numbers. He has 5 picks in the 3 losses. 1 loss, he has a 33% QBR. Another loss, he has a 52% QBR. And another loss last night, or 2 games ago against the Titans, he has a 16 QBR. He doesn't look very good when the pressure's on him, Zay. And we all know, later in the season, as stakes rises, teams fall apart. Pretenders, the real from the fake. The cream of the crop starts to rise to the top, and we recognize who's official. I don't believe Matthew Stafford will rise to the top when it's time for him to in the playoffs. I just feel like something will go wrong. He'll throw a key interception. I don't know what it is. I believe in Stafford. I believe in the weapons. But I believe in McVay. Excuse me. I believe in McVay, and I believe in the weapons. But Stafford, man, it's something about him. It's like he doesn't have that it factor during the big time, during the pressure moments. That's what it is to me.
I'm with you, and I like the teams I would look at as legit playoff teams and Super Bowl contenders. I like to count like how many big boy wins do you have, right? Looking at the Rams' schedule, right? They had a biggest win of the year came against the Bucks, right? But you look at the rest of the games, right? We just count their big boy wins, right? They beat the Bears, okay. Beat the Colts, okay. Beat the Buccaneers, really good job. Lost by 17 to the Cardinals. You beat the Seahawks. That's cool without Russ. You beat the Giants. You beat the Lions. You beat the Texans. You lose against the Titans and the 49ers. So I'm like, hold on. Your only big boy win came against the Bucks. Now everything was going right for the Bucks. They had picks. I think they had 6 sacks that game. Matthew Stafford had 4 touchdowns. Deshaun Jackson had 3 catches for 120 yards in that game. Everything was going right. So your one big boy win of the season, everything was going right. Any other team you played, you just didn't lose to the Cardinals. You got your ass whooped. You just didn't lose to the 49ers. You got your ass whooped. In the Titans game, it was close to them again. It was slaughterhouse the rest of the game. So
and Stafford threw that pick 6. Like I said, he got 5 picks and 3 losses.
So I'm looking at this like, hold on. You got to go play the Packers, that's going to be – I mean, I'm not picking Rams next week, I'll tell you that. And then you play the Cardinals again. You got the Vikings. You got the Ravens. And you also play the Seahawks or 49ers in the season off. I'm not going to say they're going to fall off because that's not Sean McVay does. But I'm not looking at them as a top 5 team anymore. And that's just my honest truth. Because I need some big boy wins. I need big boy wins. You can't get blown out like this.
No, I got you. And you got every right to say they're not a top 5 team no more. I'm not gonna go there just yet. You know why? Because I believe this week coming up at 1:25 p.m. on Fox, we'll see if they real or not. Because the Packers defense has been playing their ass off. I'm gonna tell you that right now. My boy Kev King, shout out to Kev, a guest in the front of the pod. He's been Pro Football Focus, highest rated corner in the NFL since week 5. That defense been balling their ass off, man. I got to tip my hat to them because, I think just last week on the pod, I said, hey, they've been soft. They've been giving shit up left and right since the Niners ran through their ass in the NFC Championship. I just never liked the defense. I always felt like they were soft. But the last few weeks, that Packers defense has been playing real, and we know what A-Rod and the crew can do. Him and that bad man, him and Devontae Adams. So I believe this week coming up, we're going to see if the Rams is official or not. We're going to have the real word on the Rams. If they're a pretender or if they're a contender or a pretender after this week.
Yeah, I'm about to just say a bold take right here. I'm going to say it. I think the Packers are going to come out the NFC. And I keep forgetting last year, I don't like to go. They were, 2 plays away from being the Buccaneers. It looked like they were a slot receiver away from being the Buccaneers. Their defense is getting hot as the season goes on. We know what the offense is going to do. I'm just seeing A-Rod, that he's embracing that last dance mentality. And I'm starting to see other teams just Cardinals, yeah, that's the new sexy car on the block. Yeah, that's nice. The Rams, at the end of the day, Stafford, that's the question mark. We know what A-Rod's going to bring. The thing is the defense. The defense is playing lights out, right? So it's really like, all right, the Bucks going to stop. I think a rematch with the Bucks and Packers might come again in the NFC. But I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm really starting to think that as the season's starting to come together and we're seeing who's legit and who's not.
You think Coop gonna get 2 bills? That boy had 1,100 yards, 85 receptions, and 10 touchdowns already.
If they're down in games, he is.
I mean, they got some tough games. Tough games. They still got the Cardinals again. They got the Packers. They got the Ravens.
I think he gets 1,800. I think he gets 18.
Yeah, I think he get 18 plus. I'll go 18 plus. I like that.
17 games. Yeah, I'll give him 8. That's the one thing I hate with this extra game. Like we can't even look at stats all the same, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I will say it's still tough. Still the NFL. It ain't like it's, adding an extra game in the NBA or something. Those stats are different. In the NFL, it is tough to get these numbers.
Yeah, I just put like anyone gonna have like an extra 100 or extra 10 on anything, like extra 100 yards, extra 10, like something, Yeah. But yeah, I think we're on the same page with Stafford. And right now, if we look just at the quarterbacks, he's the probably the 5th, 6th best quarterback in his own division. Right now, I would say I'll give him 5th. And as a Super Bowl contender, can we count on Matthew going against A-Rod? Can you count on going against Tom Brady? Can you count against him going against Kyler? We've seen him once against Kyler, it didn't work out. So we're going to be interested to see the rest of the season. But I'm excited to see how it play out. Let's hop on to the other side. The lost Oakland. No, I'm playing. The Las Vegas Raiders. They fall to 5-4. Get the ass whooped on Sunday night. Is this season too much for the Raiders to overcome? Not only did they lose their coach, it's different. You lose your coach for, hey, we're 0-10. We got to change direction. You lose your coach from racist, homophobic emails, so you realize you're not the best dude. And on top of that, one of the top 5 players you depend on your team, career's over. gone instantly in a Monday night. And now the whole season's on Derek Carr. Is this too much for the Raiders team to overcome?
Yeah, man. I think I said it early on, Zay. This before, look, like right before all this turmoil started happening for the crew, for your team. But I was just like, man, I want to see how you guys finish. Nobody ever would expect some of the things that has happened for your team, though. But you guys are what your record is, and in the last 6 weeks, you lost 4 of your last 6 games. And you still got to see the Cowboys. Still got to see the Chiefs again. Got to see the Browns. Got to see the Chargers. You don't have a too hard of a schedule, but I believe it's just too much to overcome. The new coach, first 2 weeks seemed like he had the guy's ears. Now I'm not really sure. Derek Carr, I'm starting to see he's not the guy. We're going to talk about him and the new head coach in a second here, but yeah, man, I believe it's just too much to overcome. I think you guys are going nowhere.
Yeah, I'm with you. I might just say something bold. I think the Raiders might, at most, going to win 2 more games this season. I don't see how they overcome. Derek Carr's not good enough to overcome the mess going on. There's quarterbacks that are, and I think we're seeing that. And I'm glad we are. I think this is the best test for Derek Carr to stop having a chokehold on the Raiders organization and on fans. And because for years, all I've been hearing is they need a defense. They need a defense. They need a defense. Against the Chiefs was the first time the Raiders have given up 30 points this year. First time. Okay. Not only that, they've held opponents at a 20 or less 3 different times this year. The defense also leads the league in pressures. Is it good enough defense? Is it top 5? No. But all we've talked about is they need a top 20 defense. That's what they have this year. And you can't tell me just losing Ruggs depletes the whole offense. Ruggs is a good player. He, I think, is ascending into a really good player. But he wasn't, DeAndre Hopkins for us. It wasn't the vocal point, the whole offense. He was completed our offense. So I'm seeing right now is like, Carr, you can't win a game without him. So it's it's too much to overcome. I can see the Raiders winning 1 or 2 more games because they're going to get outcoached later in the year. Right? Is Greg Olsen and Derek Carr going to dial up a game plan to beat the Bengals next week? I don't know. To beat the Cowboys? I don't know. Cowboys going to have to score at least 35 points to win. That's a fact. No matter what defense coming in there. So I'm with you, D-Lane. Too much to overcome, but I think it's going to be a blessing in disguise after this season. And let's move on to that after this season. Should the Raiders move off Carr and go all in a new coach?
Man, it sucks to say because initially we did like the way they were writing shit, making sure everything, or Derek Carr and the crew came out after that horrific incident where Henry Ruggs and you guys won a game against the Broncos, correct? Or was it my Eagles? First game after that. I think it was the Broncos.
Yeah.
So we thought, he could get it done, but as of late, not so much. So I hate for it to end this way, for this to be his last season, if it is, with all this going on. But I believe he's not the guy, and I believe if we're going to get a new head coach, which you guys are most likely, you gotta let the head coach get his own guy, man. I think that's the only way you have some type of success moving forward, is having a relationship that matches with the quarterback and new head coach.
Yeah, I'm with you. And, I mean, even if you box score watch, all right, like Derek Carr's numbers this year: 15 touchdown passes, 8 interceptions. So it's like, bro, you don't pay for that.
That's like mid-level quarterback play.
Exactly. And the man has passed over 20-some touchdowns once in his career. His best season was 32 touchdowns, 13 picks. Now, is he overcoming a lot in an organization that was losing consistently until he got here, right? I'm gonna take a step back. I'm not saying Derek Carr is god awful. He shouldn't be a starter. When he's hot, when he's doing well, he's a 15 to 10 type of quarterback. Not a top 10 guy. He'll have 3 to 4 games every year where he'll look like a top 10 guy, right? He's the embodiment. He's just the AFC Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, think about it. he's always had a loaded offense, a running game, and he has a defense. When that's going well, the Vikings are winning. When that's not, they're losing. And I think as long as we look at Derek Carr as the AFC version of Kirk Cousins, we know who he is. I think Derek Carr would be a great quarterback on a team like the Broncos, a team like the Washington Redskins, where, hey, loaded team. You have a good organization, and you can win some games. You're not going to win a Super Bowl with him, right? You got to look at him like an Alex Smith. On a different,
I feel you on that, though.
I'll say this, on a different team, I think you'll see Derek Carr make a playoffs, right? And I think you'll have that. Could you imagine Derek Carr on the 49ers? He's going to play way better than Jimmy, right? Now, I don't think they'll win a Super Bowl with Derek Carr, but there will be a better team right now with Derek Carr. And that's okay. But for a team that's had him like, hey, we don't have a complete team. It's damn near impossible to have a complete team. And we definitely not going to pay you that crazy extension money after this year. Let's move off Derek Carr. And I want to say this. If I'm the new GM, new coach, whatever, I'm all in on Russell Wilson. Article came out today that the trade this offseason was like pretty much, hey, it was going to happen. They want to do like one last rodeo. Obviously, the season hurt. Things aren't working out. They probably missed the playoffs first time in the rest of career. And I think it's time to move on in that relationship. And so I'll say this. If you're moving off Derek Carr, you're not moving off him for a rookie. This is not a quarterback class that you can take that gamble with. So if you move off him, it's better be Deshaun Watson or Russell Wilson. If not, you don't re-sign him. You make a play on that last year of the deal. Whatever coach comes in, that's the deal with. So I'll say that. You only move off him if you have a better replacement. It's not a deep quarterback draft. If it was this draft past year, I'll say you could draft a guy. Not this year. So would you agree on that? If you move off Derek Carr, you have to be upgraded immediately, just based off the QB draft class?
You said it has to be an upgrade immediately?
No, I would say just because, Matt Corral, Malik Willis are the top two quarterback prospects in this draft.
Yeah.
And so I was no franchise changing. You're gonna
exactly. I was just about that. That's another reason why I was saying it's kind of tough. Like, I don't know if you guys want to get in on that Deshaun Watson sweepstakes. But you know what? I don't believe you guys can even bring him in right now. You got enough of your own problems. I think that'd be tough media blowback if you picked him up. But man, I don't know. It's tough. Like you said, it's not a bunch of talent in the draft like that this year at the quarterback position.
Exactly. And so I think that's the only way you do it. If I'm the new coach that comes in, let's just say I'm Eric Bieniemy, I don't know, whatever, right? You're sitting here like, I'm not tying my career to Malik Willis or Matt Corral. That's not what I'm doing. So I'll ride with Derek Carr this year and see maybe he's just never had a coach. Jack Del Rio, John Gruden has been his most successful coaches. So maybe I can save him. I don't know. But that's the only way you move off him. Now, as the Raiders, I think it's clear cut. You're getting a coach. I think.
Okay, let me ask you this. Sorry to cut you off, but as a Raiders fan, is that what you want, or do you want the coach to immediately come in and get his own coach? Own quarterback.
I'm just gonna be very blunt. I don't give a damn what happens. I just want to see the playoffs. I don't care I don't care. We're in a
you're just sick of the mediocrity.
Yeah, I've seen my team go 8-8 3 times. Been a Raider fan this is my 19th year being a Raider fan. Been a Raider fan since I was 7 years old. I've seen them make the playoffs once, 2016. And I feel like the 2016 season has a chokehold on a lot of fans, just like Niner fans hold up on 2019. It's gone and it's not coming back. And I can't say the reason the Raiders made the playoffs in 2016, people don't forget this, we led the league in turnovers on defense. Mm-hmm. So Derek Carr had the most second chance opportunities out of any quarterback in 2016. So with the most second chance opportunities in 2016, he still only put up 32 touchdown passes with a prime Crab and Amari Cooper. So again, I'm not riding that 2016 season as we need to get back to that. So I'm with you, D-Lane. I don't give a damn. We move off him. I just want to see us make the playoffs. I don't care if we make the playoffs with Mariota. I don't give a damn. I don't care if it looks like the Broncos, where we just have a loaded team and some random quarterback pushing us through. Just want to see the playoffs. After we make the playoffs, we can move on and go from there.
Gotcha.
So yeah, you have any more points on the Raiders?
Nah.
Before we get off, yeah. we definitely gonna have a new coach. Last point on Raiders. They played the Bengals this week. Both 5-4. Both came off a 2-game losing streak. Both losing organizations. So it's gonna be the battle of who sucks most. So here we go.
Exactly. I think that'd be a good one. I might take the Bengals in a close one, 24-17 type game. But I like that game.
I'll be honest, as a fan, as a bettor, I'm all over that. I'm taking the Bengals, boy. They had good odds this week. But Joe Burrow or Carr? I'm taking Zach Wilson. You just have to look at the coach. You taking Zach Taylor and Burrow or Carr and Greg Olsen? Come on now. And Joe Burrow's a winner. Let's get it correct.
Yes, sir.
So KC, right? We're taking a lot of heat. That quarterback leads the league in turnovers. 2-game winning streak. Now they beat Jordan Love Packers, but the defense looked good. They came in.
I think ain't it 3 game?
I thought it was 2 game.
Probably right.
Who did they beat before? Yeah, because they're 6-4. Yeah, because we're 4-4 at one
3
point.
games. They beat the Giants, Packers, and the Raiders.
Okay, you're right. So again, we count the big boy wins. They don't have enough big boy wins to see if they're back or not. But it's Pat Mahomes, Andy Reid. So until they're mathematically out of the playoffs, they're a playoff team to me. I think we've been saying that in the AFC. But I'm more when I say they get their groove back, they get their groove back as, hey, you're competing to go to the Super Bowl in the AFC, or got that groove back as you're a playoff lock now.
I think you got to say both.
Oh, okay.
And you know why? Because the AFC is as wide open as it's ever been, week to week. I just talked about it earlier in the pod, how it's shuffling up top, the standings. Just last week I went on the record saying I believe the Patriots can make it all the way. Shit, I like the Patriots. That's a different conversation, but I believe the Chiefs are back, man. As far as it's a wide open race in the AFC. They're what, 2-1, I believe now, or 3-1. No, let me see, 3-1 in their division. First in their division. I believe the Chiefs are back, man. Had a 40-point explosion last night. On the Raiders defense, like that you said, only gave up over 30 points one time this year?
Yep.
Yeah, so I believe it back, man. It didn't look like Pat was pressing for the most part. He was 35 of 50, 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And his running back was second in yards last night as far as receiving yards, which tells me he was trying to take what the defense was giving him. So I like what I seen last night from Pat and Andy, or from the other night from Pat and Andy. So I believe they're back. And the defense is making some improvements, but I still need to see it versus a better quarterback.
Yeah, I'm going to say they're back. And it's just, the AFC is just so tough, man. I know people saying the NFC is this and that. There's 12 teams in the AFC that have won 5 or more games. The 12th seed in the AFC is at 500. Broncos are 5-5. The 12th seed in the NFC is 3-6. There's only 7 teams in all of the NFC that have 5 wins or more. So in the NFC, there's 2 teams that have 500 down the playoffs. So I'll just say from the Chiefs standpoint, again, I'm kind of looking at it as, again, a weird way, like the Pac-12. Everyone beat up on each other. There's not a clear-cut top dog in the AFC, but you might have an Oregon or one of those teams squeak out. To me, in the NFC, it's like the SEC. You got 3-4 legit teams. Everyone else is all right. But that's being said with the Chiefs, I think they have their groove back, and I think they can compete to come out the AFC, because when it's playoff times, like, yes, the Titans are 8-2, but am I picking Ryan Tannehill over Pat Mahomes, Andy Reid? No. I'm still not picking Josh Allen and McDermott over Pat Mahomes, so I see it, right? Then you ask, like, I've seen Lamar versus Andy and Pat. So all the guys that can really compete against Pat, he's beat them, right? And we can confidently say that Pat and Andy would be the best duo in the AFC when it comes to playoff time. And I think we're starting to realize in football, like, 1, it's hard. 2, it's hard to maintain your high level of play all season. And 3, there's no pressure like football, because you have the fewest opportunities to make the most plays. So I'm with you. I'm gonna say Chiefs are back, but I'm not gonna say coming out to Super Bowl yet. Yeah, I want to see just a couple big boy wins, so I can say that locked in. And the reason I'm saying that, I just want to see what the defense does just against a top 10 offense. If I see they hold their own, hold them under 30, top 10 offense, hey, they back for real. Um, also, real quick on the Chiefs before we move off them. Do you think they're gonna do major changes after this offseason? Regardless, like when I say major changes for this defense, they got a lot of high price tag guys that aren't performing, such as Frank Clark.
I feel like a guy like my boy Honey Badger might have to restructure. If not, they might have to let him go. A guy like Badger might have to restructure. They might even have to part ways with Spags. But I believe Spags can still get it done. He's been cooking stuff up the last few weeks. Like I said, I still want to see these performances versus a better quarterback play, because last week they beat the Packers, only held them to 7 points, but that was against Jordan Love, Packers, not Aaron Rodgers. But I believe it's more of a talent and player type problem for the Chiefs defense. As far as Sorensen, can't name you a linebacker for the Chiefs. So a guy that can run sideline to sideline, you feel me, like a Devin White that can come thump a guy. Like they need something like that in the middle of their defense, and they need to go get a different safety, because I for the love of me, God, I do not understand why they keep playing Sorensen 49. He's terrible. Every week, I feel like every game I look up, he's getting hit up somewhere, somehow. The sneak kid, he gives up some money here and there too, but he's not too bad. I actually like him. He got some promise. And Thornhill, he's not bad next to Honey Badger. They got some guys, man, but I definitely see a little shakeup on the defense. I can see that for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's just too many high price tag dudes that aren't performing that way. Let's jump to this guy real quick. So I want to get him out the way. Mike Vrabel has done nothing but one since he got with the Tennessee Titans. Doesn't matter what's going on. Does he need more of his flowers to be talked about as a top coach?
Man, Mike and Tennessee are doing their thing, man. And I know we usually get on Mike as far, especially how his defenses has performed since he's been in Tennessee. This year is a little different, man. And the crazy thing about it is I believe besides Kevin Byard, the safety, they let go of everybody else in their secondary from last year, Dory and the crew. But they play like I can't even say opportunistic defense. Like they just man up when it's time to. Like I don't know what it is. There's something about his defense, but like when the game on the line, when it's crunch time, they need a key stop, a big stop. Simmons, I believe, they D tackle. He's a stud. Boy in the middle knows the big boy. I like him. They got Byers on the back end at safety, Clowney and the crew. Man, I like the Titans, man. But I like I said, I still believe they're done as far as I don't believe Super Bowl. That's out just because of Derrick Henry not being there. But I do like the job he's doing coaching.
No, I agree. I think he's I don't want to. Actually, this is fourth year. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I think we might have a new Mike Tomlin on our hands, as far as just the clear-cut leader of men, knows how to run a team, and knows what they're doing to win games. Mike Tomlin has shown that it doesn't matter who's my quarterback, Big Ben, hurt or not. His worst season was 8-8 with Mason Rudolph and the QB Dobbs. So I think I'm seeing that with Mike Vrabel. He's 37-21 as a coach, has not missed the playoffs since he's joined as the head coach in 2018. Not only that, the man has a 4-2 playoff record. So he's not just getting the playoffs; he's winning some games while he's in the playoffs. And I think the only thing holding this team back, like you said, Derrick Henry missed. I think they just don't have a top 8 quarterback.
And hell, he got some big wins too, because I believe he beat the Patriots, right? He beat Tom. Tom last game. Yeah.
That Logan Ryan pick 6 to end
to end Tom's career with the Pats.
Yeah, exactly. So that was in 2019. They won 3 playoff games in 2019 as their wild card. But I think they're legit, man. I think Mike Vrabel's a legit head coach. I think we need to start talking about him as that, right? We have of the young guys, the Sean McVays, the Sean McDermott. I think Mike Vrabel needs to be in that conversation now.
No way for sure, dude, because he doesn't even have a real franchise quarterback like that. I just thought about that. He got Tannehill. He's still getting it done. I like Mike.
They look like a better team with their. Hey, Julio Jones, IR. Derrick Henry, IR. Just came out, and again, and this is tough, but AJ Brown came out and shared how he's struggling really hard with mental health. He tried to take his own life last year. Talked about that publicly. So to handle everything going on, it's like that's one of your players. You can't give up on AJ Brown. So he's helping. Mike Vrabel's even helping the mental health of some of his guys, which is big. I think a big thing in the NFL. So I told you, he's the white Mike Tomlin, right?
Yeah,
Mike Tomlin was handling all the AB stuff. You didn't even know about half the stuff AB was doing. So I think I'm seeing that with Mike Vrabel. As a coach, I want to play for. Probably outside of I'll be honest, but Sean Payton, Mike Tomlin, Sean McVay, and Bill, I'm taking Mike. You can't go wrong.
Andy.
Of course,
Can't go wrong. My boy Big Reed too.
Well,
Big
but the new guy, Sean McDermott, I think he should be solidified as the new wave of good coaches.
Got you.
So, last topic before we get out of here. I touched on it a little bit, but who's the most complete team right now?
Whew, this is tough. I'm gonna remix your question a little bit because I'm not even gonna. Because I was gonna say, damn, this is tough. All right, if we're saying just today, like how they're playing right now, I'm gonna go with the Packers because of how they're playing on both sides of the ball. But you know what? I'm gonna add to your question. My dark horse pick for the rest of the season. I think you kind of already know. I'm rocking with the Pats, man. I like Bill. I think Bill, especially when it's crunch time, when the playoffs come, you can put your money on Bill and his team to be prepared. They're not going to have dumb penalties. And it seems like Mac and Cheese is getting better week to week. They got a ground game. Play action game is going to be lovely in the playoffs because they got 12 personnel with 2 tight ends. Hunter Henry, had 2 catches for 2 touchdowns last week. Born up top, Aguilar, top 10 defense that's opportunistic, gets turnovers. Man, I love the Pats, man. It's something about the Pats that's brewing now. I just like them.
I like that as a dark horse team. I mean, you can't go wrong with Bill, the best coach ever. All right, you just can't go wrong. And they have a defense. That's not a problem. The offense is doing what they got to do. I just can't see I can't see Mac Jones. They're not going to have the 1 or 2 seed. I mean, if they do, that means they went out. I just can't see Mac Jones going into a Baltimore or going into a Kansas City and winning that, or even Tennessee. I think Tennessee would probably be the best matchup for the Patriots to win a playoff game. But I will say this: they are a lock to make the playoffs. You right on that, Dylan. They're a lock.
Gotcha.
My most team, I think it's the Packers. For me, it's like when you have an elite quarterback matched with elite defense. I mean, that's a match made in heaven. We saw last year what happened. The Buccaneers won it all. And I think that's what you're seeing right now coming fruition. Now, a lot of people, I think, obviously the Cardinals are hurt right now. They'll get healthy after this week. They'll get their guys back. Cliff is just a question mark, right? They're off to a hot start, like they should. I said Cliff needs his flowers because they will make the playoffs this year. They're a playoff lock. But I'm not taking I'm not betting on Cliff to go into Green Bay and win a playoff game. All right, not till I see it. So I like the Packers right now. I like the coach, quarterback, and defense. It's all lined up.
You know who? So what's your dream Super Bowl matchup right now, Zay? Because I got mine. If we talking about right now today,
I got it. Dream Super Bowl matchup? Oh, come on, that's easy for me. Packers versus Chiefs. I've been wanting to see Aaron Rodgers versus Pat. Oh my God, that would be a great Super Bowl.
I would love to see that. I would love to see that if we was talking about the Chiefs the last 2 years. I still don't believe, like we talked about the Chiefs earlier in this pod. I do believe they're back as far as Bob. I said my main reason why I believe they're back because it's wide open in the AFC. I still don't believe it's the same Chiefs in the last 2-3 seasons. But my dream matchup, Packers. We already said I believe they're the most complete team, especially on that side, NFC. I want to see him versus Moore. I think that would be an electrifying Super Bowl. Both defenses are prone to give up some points, some big yards, some big plays. I think it would be a high-scoring, electrifying Super Bowl. A-Rod versus Moore. And it'd be 2 different styles of fight. I would love to see that. Especially with Moore taking that next step as a passer this year. I would just love to see that.
If we did that, I'm not going to lie, I'd love to see Lamar versus the Cardinals in the Super Bowl. If we did that. Just because I feel like...
And that'd be nasty, too.
That would be fun. I think just from a watching standpoint. But you can't go wrong with that. I'm gonna throw in a last question for you. I'll let you. We'll end off. What team right now that's in the playoffs with the winning record might not make it? And we'll just start with the AFC. Number one, I'll just say it right now: Titans 8-2, Bills 6-3, Ravens 6-3, Chiefs 6-4, Steelers 5-3-1, Patriots 6-4, Chargers 5-4. Of those 7 teams, which one won't be in the playoffs come January?
I like the Chargers, right? You know I like the Chargers. I've been saying
I'll give you on the bubble teams too, so you know Bengals are right there at 8.
But, yeah, I was just about to. So that's what I'm going with. I'm gonna go with the Bengals. That's 14. Would that be 14? No, that's the.
Well, the Browns are 11 seed at 5-5.
Yeah, I don't got them making it no more, so I'm not rocking. I don't like Baker. Yeah, that's tough. Because they're 2-1 in their division. I'm gonna go with the Bengals. I'm gonna go with the Bengals to get in there over the Chargers. That's what I'm gonna say. So I'm gonna say the Chargers won't make it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I can't count the Steelers out. I just don't see the Bengals, overpassing the Steelers as we get on later in the season. And I'll say this: I'm not even gonna do the NFC. Actually, we can do the NFC, and I'm just gonna talk about the last 2 bottom teams. We can all agree: Packers, Cardinals, Cowboys, Bucks, Rams, lock. All right, we can all agree there.
Yeah.
All right. 6th seed is the Saints at 5-4. 7th seed is the Panthers at 5-5. Chasing them right underneath them, you got the Vikings at 4-5, Niners at 4-5, Falcons at 4-5, Eagles at 4-6.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go. Yeah. The bottom end of the NFC is just not like they're missing something. Every team, like that's what like when I'm looking like it's like they either got a quarterback and they don't have a coach, or they got a coach, no quarterback. Like, man, this is tough.
I'm gonna
say Seattle. I'm gonna put some stock in the Russ, man. I'm gonna put some stock in the Russ.
I was about to say the same thing. I was like,
you are?
Russ
That's
gonna do some magic.
Man, you see, I just had to look at that. I had to look at it. So for sure, like I knew off the top of my head, I had to look at that. I'm gonna put some stock on him to get in there, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna be a little biased here and show some love. I'm gonna say him and my Eagles, even though I'm dreaming right there. I'm gonna say the Seattle Seahawks and my Eagles.
But you're not dreaming because you got the Giants and Washington in division, so you're not dreaming. True. That's a real possibility.
True.
I'll say this: I'm gonna say the Vikings. I think the Vikings get in there. But I'm gonna say another team.
After all the mess you talk about Kirk, that's why I didn't pick them because of Kirk. But their
defense has been playing well. Okay. Their defense has been playing well. That's why. And again, Justin Jefferson, Thielen, Dalvin Cook. But I also don't think the Saints are going to make it either. Once James was out, I don't think they're not going to win consistently games with Taysom Hill. So I believe those Panthers and Saints won't be in. So who's taking their spots? I say the Vikings and the Seahawks. Again, you're probably thinking like, damn, they got a lot of ground to make up. Russell Wilson, if you have him, anything can happen. But a third team I could see sneaking in, that's the San Francisco 49ers. And strictly because they have the number 2 ranked defense in the NFL. So if Kyle could just be average on offense, they make the playoffs. Average. Also, the last 3 weeks, they've forced the most turnovers on defense. So they're getting hot. So if again, pressure's on you, Kyle. You got the number 2 ranked defense. So that's all I got going in. That's all we got this week. Just want to let y'all know we're about to launch our website soon. Man, we're gonna have a lot of stuff on there for y'all. I'm excited about that. Anything, D-Lane, before we head out?
No, I'm all good, baby.
Yes, sir.
Good pop,
this week.
Yes, sir.
We play for keeps, Cuddy. You ain't heard about the Huddle fire with no with D-Lane. We tryna get it off the muscle. Walters caught the pick and ran it back without a tussle. Blow the whistle, coach is trying to get back to the huddle.